So Navathebeast is getting out of the military, and these are my thoughts on it. Stay tuned. What is up, guys? You're tuning in to Nikki MGTV for another military video for all your military video needs. As always, you can hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below if you have questions. But as always, let's roll right into the topic. And that is, Navathebeast just announced he will not be re-enlisting for the military. As many of you guys may know, he's one of the larger military YouTubers on this platform. And I think that as much as I know people are like, you're just using his name, I'm really not, because I think that there's actually a huge learning lesson I can teach you guys based on this from my experience and my flaws and what he's actually doing right. Weird to say that, but yes, I did a lot wrong to end up here, but I also did a lot right, and I just want to kind of talk about that. So Nava is doing 4 years and getting out of the Marine Corps, and I want to let you guys know, even with Marines, I haven't been with infantry, it's still a very tough life, especially for the Marines. I understand now exactly why people don't stay in past 4 years in the Marine Corps. That's not me dissing it, it's just you have to really be bred for that type of culture, that mentality, that everything, because there's a lot, I feel like there's more commitment on that side. It's more draining from what I've seen out of the Marines that I've interacted with and treated, and I understand. I don't think I would last more than an enlistment if I was in the Marines, which is also why I say to people, if you plan on doing 20 years, you have to realize you're going to be living that Marine Corps lifestyle for the 20 years, and it's just very draining from what I can see from the outside, not being in it, but also being kind of like a bystander as a corpsman. I do think that being a Marine is very honorable. I do think that it's honestly like, if you want to be that young Marine like he has been, and that mentality, and want to be shaped and molded like he said in his video, it's definitely a really good stepping stone. But if you're trying to consider the military for a long term, I think a lot of people may bear off or may enjoy being in like the Air Force or Navy better. That's just from my personal experience and what I find interesting. But there are people that do 20 years plus in the Marine Corps, which I give tons of respect for, because I do want to say that what he's doing right is getting out at 4 years, and that's where I went wrong. So I had a 5-year contract originally for corpsman, and I was planning on getting out. I hadn't finished my degree, and I knew where I wanted to go with it. The issue was I wasn't ready to get out, and I don't really think anyone's truly ready to get out. No matter how much you plan, there's always a curveball or whatever else. But I think that getting out at 4 years is honestly the best. And that's because you don't really get more benefits as you stay in longer unless you do the 20 years. So it's kind of like, if you know you're not going to stay till the 20 years, why even stay longer than one enlistment? Because you could be working towards your ultimate goal, which is probably something outside of the military. So that's why I suggest that. Now where I went wrong was I didn't plan. As much as it sounds like I'm wise now in my almost 10 years in, it's honestly, I wasn't wise at my 5 years in. And also I was tempted with Road to Spain, which was an amazing experience, but that took me to 8. And then I did get my degree while I was there, so what ended up happening was I then was like looking at how much I made in the military versus how much I made on the outside with my degree, and I realized that it was very comparable, which made me not want to actually get out. And so with that, it kind of just felt like it would have been pointless at that point, so that's why I stayed in. Whereas right now, if you're E4, 4 years in, and you're not having tons of income coming in, and you can develop yourself better to go beyond that, it's kind of the perfect time to do it. And I'm envious because there's a lot of times where I do wonder if I did get out, and I think that if you are going to get out, it's the right time. The only thing that I disagree in the video is he talks about complacency. So yes, the paycheck is stable. Yes, the food income is stable. Yes, all that stuff is stable with benefits and things like that. I get it, but the military as a whole is a very unstable lifestyle, and you kind of understand what your instabilities are. So once you get used to that, that's probably what he's talking about. But I think that the one thing I would stress to you guys is staying in one career for 20 years is a long time. Not many people do that right now. And especially in the military, you're going to have to find your ways to diversify or change what you're doing in order to enjoy it or not be miserable doing the same thing for 20 years. So for example, myself, I was a pharmacy tech, and then I went on to become an independent duty corpsman, and then after that I'm looking to become an officer. So I will have had like 3 different main core jobs while I'm in the military, and they've all had very different roles and expectations, which I think is really important if you want to grow, and it will help you overall be able to stay in the military for 20 years if you eventually want to end up there. And obviously, I agree with Nava as well that he shouldn't really worry about what other people think. I do think that he's going to succeed one way or another. The only concern I would have for the YouTube side of things is much of you guys know him as the guy with the Marine Corps uniform on that's always doing challenges, always doing some reaction, always doing something in that genre. And it's weird to think this, but it's part of the marketing of what his channel is about. So just like if you go somewhere and you see somebody at McDonald's in a uniform, you know that's the employee, you know him as the Marine. And once a Marine, always a Marine, but it is interesting to see where he goes, especially since the other case example we had is Nick Bear doing very similar things with product line, which he has Fuego Subs, and Nick Bear has BPN, things like that. So let me know what you guys think about him getting out, or if you guys are considering doing just one enlistment in 4 to 6 years, or if you guys want to do the full 20, what you guys think about what I've said here. But as always, guys, if you guys have questions, hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below. And as always, guys, I love you guys. I'll see you next time.